Hello. Okay. Looks like the sound is working. So, I wanted to come on here today to talk about a really important topic that has been, this is kind of a reflection, if you will, of the whole transit of the North Node in Taurus in my life. And this is a topic, what I'm going to be getting into is, it's personal. And there are going to be certain details that I'm going to be leaving out. However, I think it is super important that I address this because I find that it's very pertinent to the South Node in Scorpio and the North Node in Taurus. The whole transit that's been going on. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a video about this. I wish I did have a video, but I'll definitely be planning on preparing a video on the lunar nodes in Aries and Libra. So the South Node in Libra and the North Node in Aries. And that video should be pretty simple. I find that that's probably the most simple placement of the lunar nodes you can have in your natal birth chart. South Node in Libra, North Node in Aries. South Node in Libra. Over-compromising, people-pleasing, getting caught in an entangled relationship, always needing the other person to complete you, being dependent on the other person, and brushing issues under the rug, not asserting yourself. North Node in Aries, confidence, courage, doing what you want to do, doing what you need to do, asserting your needs, your wants, running your own life. Stepping into your authenticity or independence. These are themes that we're going to be working with. If you have anything you'd like to say in response to what I'm going to be talking about, feel free to put them in the chat as I am talking. So I've sort of mentioned this on and off in videos. I have a couple posts, or maybe a post that I did in my community tab and on Facebook and Instagram about this, but I really want to talk about this because there is nothing like talking about it. There's nothing like, just voicing it. I am really tired of making videos that are not public, that I don't want to give my energy and breath and put it into videos unless it's legitimately out there, because for the longest time I've been doing thousands of unlisted and private videos, live streams like this. I've been getting things off my chest, voicing my truth, venting, saying what's important to me, saying what I think and feel and what I want to talk about, and what I want to share, but not in a public way. And I'm sick and tired of doing that. Because I cannot tell you the amount of unlisted and private videos that I have filmed that I've deleted throughout the transit of the North Node in Taurus. Every single time that I have deleted a bunch of things, one after the other, I end up feeling really drained. I end up regretting what I did. And that's part of it. And part of this transit for me has been about getting over certain compulsive tendencies that I am dealing with right now in my life. The other half has been dealing with the guilt that I have over what I call content abuse, information abuse. I have a metaphor that I came up with. It's actually an acronym. It's a word that I came up with. It's called SABERG. It stands for spoil, abuse, binge watch, exhaust, ruin, go through the motions of content and information. Not in a way where, oh, you're watching YouTube, and oh, I'm actually interested to see more videos from this person. I'm really curious. I want to continue to watch. Why not? It is doing it even though there is a voice that is trying to grab your attention. It is shouting at you, stop what you are doing and do something else. But you push down that voice and you continue to watch the videos one after the other, and you exhaust whatever channel that you're watching. You exhaust that information, the content, maybe the area of interest or the subject matter you are watching. You exhaust the creator of the channel. When you watch one video after the other, and it's all a feeling. It's a feeling of being worn out, exhausted, drained, and you end up feeling really mad with yourself, really frustrated and really guilty. And you feel like you wasted your time. And you had to let that compulsive need to get something done or to achieve a goal or to finish something get in the way of you living your life, of you being present, of you connecting with family, of you doing more productive things in your life, of doing better things that put you at better states of being, gratitude, peace, appreciation, joy, contentment, that stimulate your curiosity, things that you genuinely want to do based off of what you want to do in the moment, the inspiration that you have in the moment. Getting outside in nature, getting work done. I mean, all of these kind of things that would be better uses of your time than what you decided to do. And I'm speaking on behalf of myself. Now, there's several kind of layers to this, and this whole live stream. I think it's safe to do reflection on the whole transit of the North Node in Taurus. I have the North Node in Taurus and South Node in Scorpio placement in my natal chart. And I'm looking forward to the nodes entering Aries and Libra. It may be a relief. It may be a breath of fresh air. I'm done with my nodal return. It may be easier energy. I may be feeling more abundant, more energized, more sort of have a thirst for life, want to, explore, be myself, more optimism, a fresh start, that good, energetic, motivated feeling for living life. That is probably what I might be feeling when the nodes shift into Aries and Libra. I don't know. But the point is that there were several things that I have done, and this is very personal to me, and I want to be personal. I don't want to say anything that I'm not comfortable with, but I'm really trying to get out of my shell. If you watch a series of unfortunate events and you look at Klaus Baudelaire, and you know who Klaus Baudelaire is, really book smart, very intelligent, very put together, more, refined, etc. I am not Klaus Baudelaire. Nor am I. There was a Dr. Phil episode that I was watching. It was on this kid who made YouTube videos, and he was very destructive. He, pushed the envelope way too far and did things that were potentially life-threatening. And it ended up hurting the relationships with family, school. There was just a whole story about it. And this is some, big time YouTuber. I don't do pranks. I don't do that kind of stupid, obnoxious challenge. Like, I don't do challenges. I don't do, all of those kind of things like that. That's not me. And I don't want to become that person. I don't want to become the person who becomes destructive and becomes obsessed with getting likes, followers, all of that. I also don't want to become the person where social media is consuming my life and I feel drained by it. There are boundaries. And I don't want to push those boundaries. But I am working on becoming more extroverted and less shy. And I do believe that I am less shy, less introverted than I was when I was little. I am not going to deny or push down those parts of myself that are real and that are authentic and true to me. But I also want to be open and, courageous and open about things. And yeah. So, going back to what I was talking about with doing things compulsively, one of the things about Scorpio energy is it's an all or none energy. It is about taking risks. It's about, I have the drive, I have the desire to do something, and I feel so intensely about it. And darn it, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do whatever I can to reach this goal. This includes going against your own personal values. This may include denying yourself lunch. This may include denying yourself rest. This may include not taking things slowly and steadily, but just, all or nothing, just, full on. And Scorpio is a very intense sign that burns through, it just destroys things. And I have felt that in mental and emotional ways, I've sabotaged certain aspects of my life, and I've shot myself in the foot a couple times, and I have destroyed certain things that I continue to feel regret about. And so it's so easy to get sucked down into the South Node, that feeling where, you have an idea of something that you want to achieve, and you're going to stop at nothing to achieve it. You're going to stop at nothing. Well, guess what? If you don't allow yourself a break, if you don't get present, if you don't take a breath, if you don't take it systematically, if you're not practical or pragmatic, if you're not grounded about what you are doing, and just, I'm going to do it with full-on intensity, you're probably going to regret it. You're probably going to do something that you look back going, why did I do this and why did I have to, because it probably will not make you feel better. It'll pull your energy down. It'll drain you. It'll cause you to feel worse about yourself and how you spent your time. And then, when we live on the shadow sides of whatever our south node is, my south node is in Scorpio, and when the south node is transiting a sign, we can find ourselves in a really low frequency situation, and then things do not go better for us, and then we don't feel happy, content, at peace, in gratitude, all of these things ruled by Taurus. But we feel worse. But when we move into Taurus, which is about what's important to you, what do you truly value, and don't let some, drama or, power struggles or, you wanting to compulsively get something done with full intensity, not letting that take away from you being true to yourself and your values. It's about noticing when you get in that compulsive, doing things in a compulsive way and turning the awareness on and saying, okay, I'm compulsive. I am doing something with this determination to get it done. It's exhausting, but I'm continuing to push myself anyway. I need to stop. Take a break. Take a breath. Reorient myself. And ask myself, drop in to my body and ask myself, is this true for me? Do I want to do this? Does this make me feel happy? Does this bring me peace? Does this bring me joy? Does this bring me, is this making me feel better? Is this making me feel more uplifted, more accomplished, better than I was before? Or is this making me feel worse? Exhausted, guilty, unhappy, miserable. So many adjectives. And I'm sure that a lot of us have found ourselves in those situations. And now is the time where we are wrapping up this transit. And then when the North Node goes into Aries, that is more supportive energy for initiating and pushing ourselves. I know of someone on YouTube whose work is about motivation, pushing yourself to do the things that you don't want to do in order to get what you want. This person's very popular on YouTube and produces content almost every day. But I find that this person, I haven't seen a whole lot of, the videos of this particular creator. But I find that she doesn't acknowledge the feminine perspective of, allowing yourself to have this, allowing yourself to take it slow and steady, to give yourself time in the morning to wake up, to do the self-care things, to, where it's so masculine, so harsh, pushing yourself. And, like what we are human beings, not human doings, and let's not put human nature aside. Let's, be true to human nature and tap into a more feminine, compassionate, heartfelt, nurturing way of living our lives that is more peaceful. And that is Taurus. It's ruled by Venus, the planet of peace and love. It's a very peaceful sign. Taurus does not want to push. It doesn't want to be pushed. It's like, okay, let's be present. Let's take things in a slow and steady manner. And let's do this one step at a time. Let's get it done. Let's get some results. Let's push ourselves, but let's not devalue ourselves and do something compulsive. And let's just slow down, breathe, get it done without rushing, and with enjoying the process of doing it. Because Taurus is the earth. Taurus is about peace. It enjoys the present moment. It wants to take its time. It's very much to me about the journey of whatever you are doing, as opposed to, oh, I'm so determined to reach the end destination. It's about, you can't build Rome in a day. You can't build a building in a day. You cannot make space for a farm in a day. You need to just slow down, stay the course, stay committed, stay persistent, no matter how long it takes, and not giving up. But it is about having enough energy to do the whole race and finish the race. Slow and steady wins the race. That's profound. When you are slow and steady, and it's a marathon, not a sprint, you have enough energy. You are saving your energy. You're conserving your energy. You are using a little and making a moves and moving, which is not exhausting or draining or pulling and taking away and burning out all that energy at the beginning of the race. It's about, okay, I'm going to move through this race in a fast but moderate, reasonable, steady way where my energy is conserved and it can last me throughout the whole race. And then I may catch up to speed near or at the end of the race, and then I may win. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And certain things do not happen overnight. They take time, and you have to be willing to go through the process. The slow and steady process, to have the patience. Noticing what you're doing in the moment. Being at a grounded place so that you are present, so that you're calm, so that you are not rushing, to surrender all the energy that you have to, I want to get this done, and all of that, that rushed, frantic, scattered, overwhelmed, stressed, anxious energy that you have, to notice it, to breathe, to slow down, and to just take it one step at a time. But it's an energy. It's an energy of having the inner peace and the patience to persist through whatever you are doing. It is an energetic state of being that the North Node in Taurus is calling us to tap into, and it has been since January of 2022. I have not always tapped into that energy of Taurus. And when I have not tapped into that energy of Taurus when it comes to getting something done, I end up regretting it. So the first time that I noticed this happening was when I was binge watching someone that I follow. I wasn't watching the person because I was genuinely curious at their content, and I wanted to, watch more for the sake of it. I wanted to finish all of this person's old forecast videos because this person is an astrologer that I follow, and I wanted to watch all of their past videos for, like, I don't know, forecasts that didn't have to do with that current time and what's to come, but what happened in the past. Past forecasts that deal with times that were not June of 2022. So I started watching this person's videos just for genuine curiosity. And then I had a mindset where I wanted to finish all their videos. So I started watching one after the other in a determination to get it done and to only stop only if I was absolutely exhausted. And when I did that, and when I watched one video after another, I feel like I exhausted this person, exhausted their videos. And then I felt so guilty. I felt so much regret. And I believed that I was living in the South Node. Maybe if you do things that you regret later on during a certain nodal transit, those things may pertain to whatever sign the South Node is in, or maybe whatever house it falls into your chart, whatever house the transiting South Node falls into your chart, and in general, whatever your South Node placement is in your natal chart. Whatever sign and house area. And especially if there are a lot of hard aspects to that South Node, a lot of squares and oppositions to it, then maybe when you do certain things and then you look back and regret them, maybe you are living in that South Node. Who knows? But it is this energy, this drive, this compulsive drive to get something done, no matter what. And I'm going to push myself, and I'm going to sit here. I'm so willing. I'm so committed. It's not a mindset that we have all the time. And we can overdo it. We can bite off more than we can chew. And we can just moving from one video, watching one video after another, even though there's a big part of us that says, stop. You're tired, you're exhausted, take a break. It isn't worth it anymore. You're wasting your time. Do something else. Slow down. Just stop what you're doing. That whole thing. But we do not choose sometimes. We can get caught up in our ego and not listening to that voice, shutting it down. Shutting that voice down and going, no. And then being really mean to ourselves and tough on ourselves. And devaluing ourselves and lying to ourselves and keeping to push forward even though we're exhausted and we want to take a break. And it's just not right. And it doesn't bring us that peace and that abundance that we want to feel. So that's a couple examples. There's another astrologer. I was watching her 1-minute videos on Instagram. They were super short, and I decided, I just want to watch all of these. And so one after the other, I was determined to get it done. Instead of just watching the videos for their own sake, it was all about getting it done. Watching all their videos and getting it done with. And that can be easy with shorts on YouTube. They're so addictive and they're like candy that you can watch one after the other. And what I call abusing the content, when you fall into just watching one video after the other and you don't get anything out of it. It's not nourishing to you. It's not meaningful to you. It doesn't feel worth your time or energy to engage in. And you don't enjoy it. And you feel like you have less from doing that than, more lacking and more upset and feeling more negatively than you did beforehand. I don't scroll TikTok. I really wish that the design of TikTok was designed differently. That app is designed for content abuse. Content abuse means, in my mind, watching one thing after the other, not watching it because you wanted to watch it for its own sake. And it's easy to fall into scrolling from one video to the next and mindlessly doing that. Like, oh my goodness, when you are sitting on social media and you feel like this is a waste of your time, like, let's get outside. You feel that you need to get outside, do something productive, do something else. And, just take a break, even if you're not totally, finished with what you're watching or what you're doing. That's your, body and mind and a voice inside of you and those feelings inside of you telling you to take a break. And maybe your intuition telling you to take a break and do something else. Yeah. And so definitely getting caught up in that is something huge that is important to work on. Another time that it showed up for me was, well, when I had 1,000 subscriptions. This was July 21st, 22nd of last year. So it's almost a month from now. July 22nd this year is when the sun moves into Leo and Venus goes retrograde in Leo. I have a whole nother video about Venus in Leo and the Venus retrograde season in Leo. It's, super long because there's several different parts that I talk about. I don't spend the whole video talking about what Venus in Leo means, however. So it just turned out to be that long. Turned out to be super long. I didn't intend for it to be that way. That's just how it turned out based off of the information that I had to talk about. Some videos I'm more serious into the information that I have in front of me and to, what I'm talking about. And other videos like this, I'm just sort of freestyling, talking how I'm feeling in the moment, what's coming up for me in the moment, being just real and, and yeah. So, yeah. And I also hope that I look in the camera too, because I have a tendency to want to look away from the camera because it's hard to look directly at the camera lens. But anyway, so July 21st, 22nd, I had the goal in mind. I wanted to clean up my subscriptions and see what subscriptions I wanted to keep, which ones I wanted to get rid of. And so I did not end up choosing a smart way of approaching this. Instead, I was sitting at this computer with all my subscriptions, clicking on a subscription, watching a little bit of video from that subscription, which I've never watched. That, let's say this channel I've never watched before, clicking on that channel, watching this little snippet of video to determine if I wanted to keep this or not. And then I just kept repeating that motion of clicking on the channel, watching a little bit of the video, determining whether I wanted to keep this or not, one after the other. And it was so frustrating and so draining. I was really torturing myself. And as I did it on and on and on, I felt worse. One channel after another, the worse that I felt. And I could have done better things to utilize my time, to take advantage of my time, and things that would not cause me that guilt. I could have just, okay, well, I haven't watched this channel in a while, I'm just going to unsubscribe for it. Or, you know what, I'm not actually too into what that channel is about, so I'm going to get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Just detach and, let go. And just unsubscribe. Or maybe just clicking on the channel, browsing through their videos, not clicking on a video, but just browsing through. Well, that may have been fine, but no. I had to do it the hard way, the long way, the exhausting way. And I was again safeguarding, spoiling that new content that I could enjoy watching for the first time, spoiling that new channel that I've never watched content off of, and instead having the memory and forming an association of, oh, I remember that channel. I remember compulsively going through all those channels, and that was one of the channels that I clicked on and watched a video on, or just what I would compulsively one after the other, and not for the purpose of just genuinely with curiosity and enthusiasm, excitement to watch that video just because I want to watch the video. I want to watch a new channel I never seen before. I'm watching the video just for the sake of watching it, enjoying it, getting value from it. So that association was formed to a bunch of channels that I have subscribed to in the past, and I clearly didn't watch a video off of a lot of those channels before choosing to subscribe to them, because I thought, oh, this topic is interesting, subscribe. Oh, this is interesting, without watching a video from that channel. A lot of the channels that I compulsively went through, and if this sounds trivial, it doesn't feel trivial to me. But a lot of the channels were cooking channels, and I'm not into when the person narrates the recipe as opposed to them actually in the kitchen showing how they prepare the recipe as they're talking, not just the person doing the steps and the music playing in the background or their voice in the background. Them talking in the kitchen, going through the steps, actually doing a demonstration where they're cooking the recipes, preparing the recipes, and talking at the same time. But I know of, and I went through a lot of channels who did not do that. And I found that to be very disappointing. Very disappointing. And I sort of learned that the hard way, instead of, that's interesting, that channel's interesting to me. I want to watch this new cooking channel. Oh, I didn't expect them to do it this way. Maybe I'm not a fan of their doing it. Maybe I'll just finish this video and then unsubscribe from it, and that's fine. My intention was to watch the video just because I wanted to watch the video. I wanted to try something new. I wanted to watch it just for the sake of watching it. And I didn't care for the video. You're not going to like everything that you try, and you don't know something until you try it. You don't know if you're going to like it or dislike it until you try it. And that's how I wish that it was when it came to actually watching a video off of the channels, not going through one after the other and getting rid of them, but watching a video from those channels of genuine curiosity, wanting to watch a new channel, a new video off of a new channel, watching it. I'm not too into it. I'm disappointed. Okay, I'm going to finish it because I don't like things being unfinished, and then I'm just going to unsubscribe. That's fine. Yeah, you don't have to like everything that you try, but I have this mindset where I want to finish things. I want to start things and then finish them, because then I start this, I start that. I don't want to be starting something over here and starting something over there and not finishing it. So I believe in committing to what you're doing if it's worth it. If if it's just absolutely not worth doing at all, then obviously that's a compromise. But generally, I am really committed when it comes to watching videos, reading things, reading books. There's a huge number of books that I have not finished, and I'm trying to finish those. And every single time I try, the motivation isn't there, the inspiration is not there, and I end up losing interest, motivation, drive, and end up losing the commitment to finish up those books that I didn't finish. So I just decided, well, you know what? I want to do things that I want to do in my life, read books that I want to do in my life, instead of having to go through all these books that I didn't finish and then going through them. And then when I finished all these books, and also instead of just reading this book because I was interested in it, that I started reading in the past, I'm doing it because I did not finish it, and I'm working towards finish it when it comes to a piece of information, when it comes to a video, when it comes to content that I'm watching, which is a really, really huge value to me. It's all in terms of the intention. It's all in terms of the mindset that you have and the motivation that you have and the reasoning that you have for watching it, for finishing what you started reading or watching. So that's something. So all right. Now, so sitting at the computer, watching one channel after the other, spoiling that. Not binge watching in this case, but exhausting the curiosity that I have to where it's distorted, it's impaired, it's impurified, and then I feel less content about watching it. I've sort of colored and destroyed so much that I had to be grateful for, to be interested in, to explore. When you are caught in that Scorpio energy, you can destroy something compulsively. Getting caught up in it. Caught up in that desire, that adrenaline rush. That, I'm just gonna, ruin it now, or I'm gonna destroy something, or black or white, all or none, destroying everything just to destroy a small part of it. And just being super intense about it. And emotionally intense about this desire, this thing that I want to get done. Where you're losing sight of your truth, slowing down, tapping into the energy of Taurus, tapping into that grounded, slow and steady, sensual, present, sensory-oriented, Venusian energy of Taurus, that earth energy of Taurus. So for many months, I have been feeling, the later part of 2022, I was feeling depressed. I was feeling very down in the dumps and very guilty, and a loss of some curiosity for the videos and new channels on YouTube, because I did that. Because I did not take a slow and steady approach, because I did not do it in a different way and in an easier way, for that matter. I didn't sit long enough to think about what would be the best way to approach this, instead of just, okay, I'm just going to go all in and do this, and learning the hard way as opposed to the easy way. Working smarter, not harder, that whole thing. And I can only wish that I did it differently, but I didn't do it that way. And I learned from my mistakes. I learned from the past, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to get caught up in that anymore. And it can be easy sometimes when you want change, when you want things to be different, when you want something to be done, when you want to feel better, you want to clean things out, or when you want things to be different. Scorpio can destruct certain things for that need for change, for the need to attain something, or lose certain things. It can be destructive, and it can pull you in, and you can really get caught up in the underworld, let's say, in that energy. And it's so important, and it's been so important for a while now, not to get caught up in that. So, if that wasn't enough, in August of 2022, I had a bunch of unlisted and private videos on my main channel, and I actually have several accounts open. Several accounts open on my YouTube accounts. And so I had all these unlisted videos that I wanted moved to other accounts. And I did move all the unlisted private videos onto those other accounts, and that came through slow and steady, efforts, persistent, not giving up, day after day, taking your time. That's how you get things done, is in that way. In that slow and steady way. You can't do it all at one time. You just can't. And every single time that I thought that I could, and I approached getting something done in that way, I always ended up regretting what I did. Always. Now, I had a lot of unlisted and private videos sitting on my main account that I wanted to move over, because I wanted one separate channel for public videos. And then all the other channels, all the other accounts for unlisted private videos. Unfortunately, YouTube has limits to the amount of videos that you can upload per day on those accounts. You can upload a lot of videos, but eventually you've reached your uploading limit. That's a message that pops up when you try to upload a video, and it won't allow you to do that. So that's what happened. And then, because I was so impatient and I wanted all those videos to be transferred over now, and I wanted it to happen, and I wasn't willing to wait, you know what I did? I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to delete all these videos. All of these videos, a lot of them, I spent my own time and energy on making. So many hours, so many days, almost 2 years of videos down the drain. Almost 2 years of videos that I made, that I had to be super compulsive. And I want to say immature. I want to say, so I was so determined for things to be different. But I was not willing to take a break and just accept that I was not going to be able to upload all these videos at a time, and I don't know if I could create other accounts at the time, open up other accounts of channels. So I was not, I did not, I could not, I wasn't accepting of the fact that, okay, this is going to take time, and it is best and it's right for me to take this slow and steady approach. And if I wanted to get this done, I had to be patient, and I had to do a little at a time, as much as I could do at a time, not all at once, because of what YouTube allowed in terms of how many videos you could upload. I was not that way. I ended up deleting compulsively, one after the other, all those videos. Time, energy, and those videos were very valuable to me. I was not deleting them. I was not going through, oh, I don't want to keep this video. You know what? I'm not going to watch this video. I don't want to have this video anymore. I'm just going to delete it. No. Deleting valuable videos that I had filmed because I was not willing to be patient to transfer those videos over to those other accounts, because I didn't want videos to stay on that one account, because I have published videos on my channel, I've deleted videos on my channel, and I'm sick and tired of deleting stuff. I am sick and tired of deleting things. Deleting videos is basically denying that you filmed them in the first place. I mean, if you're going to delete something that you spent your time and energy on, and you liked it and it was good, and you're deleting it, you might as well delete the memory of it, because you've done that, and that guilt's going to remain there. And it did stay there for a long time. And I was feeling very down in the dumps, and kind of just feeling in a lot of regret from it. And so, all you can do is be in the moment, make better choices in the present moment, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, move on. Do better in the future. Let's not, we can't live in the past. We can't take back what we've already done. We can take what we've learned from our past mistakes and do better in the future. That is all we can do. Because the present moment is where our power lies. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It is right here, right now. That's the very truth. And that's also Taurus North Node, is presence, is being in the present moment. That all is well in the present moment. Whatever thought, whatever may be going on, feeling, whatever that it all is, when you anchor into getting in touch with your body, the physical surroundings, taking a breath, being, really grounded, all of that, all is well. Maybe not, but that can bring you back to peace, to inner peace. Becoming more resilient, inner security is another big thing. But, yeah. So, that's another thing that I did compulsively, is delete thousands of videos that were unlisted, that I published to my channel, that I made unlisted and private. Prior to that, deleting other videos that I filmed, one after the other, unlisted and private, because I wanted a fresh start, I wanted change, and I was not willing to do the small steps so that I could have change, so that I could save the videos. Instead, I just threw in the towel, was not patient, and deleted those videos. And that's another thing that I remember regretting. I think a really profound lesson with this North Node in Taurus is that anything that costs you your peace is too expensive. I was reading that quote somewhere, and I have not always remained true to that. And so another day that pops out into my mind is November 21st. There was an assignment that I had to do for a class because I am in college. I had my first year of college done. I'm going to move into my second year of it in August, starting next August. But I had an assignment that I needed to do. And I personally did not expect that I had to do this assignment on this day. It was right before Thanksgiving break, and I didn't know about it beforehand. I didn't look it up beforehand. It just came up out of the blue with super short notice, and it was very stressful. And then I became very panicked and frantic and stressed because I had this assignment. And the teacher that I had constantly pounded on assignment after assignment that I didn't have an assignment, or at least I thought I didn't have an assignment to do the weekend of November 19th. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. There's not an assignment. I have a little bit of a break. Oh, but then it all caught up with me. And so I spoke about this in another video that I have on my channel. But you have the Sun and Moon in Scorpio. You have Mars retrograde in Gemini, and it's squaring off with Neptune in Pisces. The South Node's in Scorpio, the North Node's in Taurus. It's still in the final hours, days of that eclipse season. So, yeah. Quite a bit there. That Mars retrograde really decreased a lot of motivation and energy for a lot of people. It was very difficult. We were scattered. We were, unfocused, unclear about, distracted. We are juggling multiple balls in the air because that's Gemini. It's about multitasking. It has this goal over here, this goal over there, and you're juggling it. You're trying to balance it, and you're working with this thing you have to do over here, this thing you have to do over there. And yeah, that was tough. Squaring Neptune, becoming very distracted, becoming very confused, not clear. We don't have a clear sense that we were going a direction. We can fall into guilt. We can fall into becoming feeling weak or feeling like a victim to our circumstances, to wanting to escape and not face the reality, to potentially beat ourselves up for the things that we did in the past and not choosing to be here now and really face the reality of what we've already done and what's in the present moment that we have in our lives. And yeah, I have a whole nother video about the aspect of Mars squaring Neptune that happened about 3 times. October 12th, November 19th, and March 12th. I'm pretty sure March 12th. I think that's the date for when the final square was, because Mars went forward, it moved retrograde, then moved forward again. So that square happened 3 times. And it was exact on those 3 dates that I listed. I feel like what happened for me on that day was when I found out about this assignment that I had to do and complete. I feel like my mind became inflamed. I was not feeling logical. I wasn't feeling patient. I was not feeling grounded. I was very determined to just get it done. I'm just going to rush through this, get it done as soon as possible, so I won't have to deal with it when I come home. And I can enjoy my evening and watch videos and just chill out. That was not the reality. I could not swallow the reality of that this would take time. Slow down, take your time. And you may end up having to sacrifice your evening. You may end up having to miss out on these videos that you want to watch because you have this assignment that you need to do. I was not willing to swallow or accept. I couldn't swallow it. I just could not swallow that pride, that ego, inflamed ego, sick ego, mindset that I had. I couldn't do it. It was very difficult because it was unexpected. I was stressed. I was panicked. I was super determined. I was pounding on my computer because here's what I was trying to do. I was trying to analyze poems and trying to answer these higher order thinking questions because of taking an intro to lit class in order to write a really good analysis of a poem or a short story. You have to be willing to sit with it, get in a certain state of mind that is focused, that is grounded, that is abundant, that is positive, not getting distracted, but allowing yourself to take the necessary breaks that you need to. Taking breaks. Just, I'm going to get this done now. No. It's important to know when to draw the line and to listen to the inner voice, to listen to your body, to take a break, do self-care, nourish yourself, take care of yourself, all of that. Replenish your energy. Stop. Relax. Sit for a while. Have some downtime. All of that. All of that. We take breaks when we're exhausted, and that is a refresher of our energy. We come back more refreshed and more ready and more motivated to continue doing the work. But we need that break. We all need a break once in a while. And it's about allowing yourself to take care of yourself, to put yourself first, and to say, no, I need to take a break. I'm exhausted. I need to value myself. This is so much stuff that I have to do. And it is about taking it one step at a time, not getting overwhelmed, one step at a time, which is not easy when you're stuck in that south node energy, when the sun and moon are hanging out in that south node, the sign that the south node is in, which is Scorpio. It's not easy to get yourself to do, but it takes awareness. It takes you just doing something different, taking those action steps. So anyway, I was doing it, and I was allowing the external pressure and stress get the better of me and what I value and my peace. It was all taking away from my happiness, my joy, my contentment, my peace, my healthy, happy state of mind, my grounded state of mind. It was all taking away from that because it was a deadline and it was due that night. And I was so willing, if I could get this done, get it done out of the way. I just don't care. I want to get this done so that I can have an evening to myself. Well, as I said before, when you're trying to analyze a poem or a short story, for example, it takes work. It is not those are not things that you want to rush. You don't want to rush those things. You do not want to rush those things. It's about sitting through, taking your time through it. And you have to be in a certain mindset, and I was not in that mindset. If I had to go back and change the past, I would find the assignment out beforehand, and I would do it slowly and steadily and just get it done and not have all that work that I had to do on that particular day to get the better of my inner peace. If I found out about that assignment that I have to do that takes a long time, that I'm just no. I was not. Mars was retrograde. Taking action in Mars retrograde, that can be difficult. Procrastination is also something that I'm alluding to here that can also be associated and related to Mars retrograde. Now, that being said, with what I was doing, I did not listen to my intuition, my body, my soul, and I did not do what would bring me inner peace. It's very hard to meditate, to take some time out when you have a deadline that you found out about that afternoon that is due at 11:59 that night, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of analyzing, because then that self-care that you do takes up time. And I tortured myself trying to get it done. I became very miserable, and it was affecting my mood. It was affecting my relationships with my parents. I became very stressed. I became very panicked. I wasn't myself because it was overwhelming, because I allowed it to get the better instead of, you know what? I'm going to detach from this. I'm going to say, I'm not going to get this done. This is not the day to get it done. I'm just not going to be in the mindset to do this. I'm not going to be able to get it done well this day, so I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to have this evening of doing what I want to do, or so that I won't have to feel rushed and stressed. Okay, maybe I will lose a grade, maybe get a lower grade. Come on. That versus my inner peace. I know what my choice is in those kind of situations. Again, Taurus is not about rushing. It's not about rushing. So, yeah, I allowed that to cost me my peace. I allowed the pressure and the emotions and the determination and the stress and all those emotions to cost me my inner peace. All for what? An assignment that I had to do. Can't believe that I let that get the better of me. And that's my feeling that I have later on about that. And I know that I'm going to be doing differently in the future. I don't know if I'm going to rush and, with, deadline. I'm just going to be responsible and find out about the assignment beforehand and, do the things I need to do for myself that will bring me peace, that I am being true to myself. And I would not be lying to myself. But Mars square Neptune and self-deceit, lying to oneself in terms of your actions, because Mars is the actions that you do, the actions that you take. The guilt of not getting it done that particular day that I would have when I would be enjoying time with my Thanksgiving, or the guilt for not getting a higher grade but doing it the day after when I would wake up, have that morning and time to get it done where I could take my time to do it. I would have rather felt that guilt than pressing hard on my computer, taking up my evening, and it ended up going into the evening and I didn't have time to do what I wanted to do. Again, it goes back to not accepting that it would take time. But I was not in the mindset. And I could not get into the mindset. So I did it the best I could. I did what I could. And yeah, I just moved on, let it go. Now, sort of the other way that the doing things compulsively, another way that showed up for me was sometimes I just get into those states of mind where I want to get something done, and then I deny myself the things that I need for myself and that I would be good for me to do because of that drive. And I'm aware of that, and I'm not going to fall into that again. That compulsive habit pattern that I want to break. So doing something one time, I was doing something, I was super determined, I was pushing myself to do it because I've had enough of the procrastination, enough of not doing it, so just pushing myself to do it. And I got burnt out, and I just could not do it. I couldn't just sit and get the whole thing done at that particular time. I had to take a break. I couldn't do it. You can't do things. You can't get things done if you have that compulsive mindset and I want to get this thing done. And it's such a long process. It takes a lot of time. I mean, if you want to torture yourself, if you want to make yourself miserable, and then yeah, be my guest. But it's really not the way that's going to bring the contentment, the peace, the happiness, fulfillment. Because that's not Taurus, that's Scorpio. The South Node's in Scorpio. That's the shadow side of Scorpio. So again, it goes back to that. And in general, any idea that you have of, I want to do something that may be unrealistic, but I want to just do something because I want change, I want to get it done. Like putting all the videos that you previously watched into a playlist because you want to see that you watched those videos. And you deleted your watch history. You don't want to deny that you've watched them when you've deleted all the videos. You want to see that you've watched the videos. So, one channel after another, going through finding all those videos, putting them into a playlist, thousands of videos that you watched in the past that you want to see that you've watched, even though that you've deleted the history of watching those videos. No. It's, just, it's so important to let certain stuff go and just choose to live in the now. Let it go. Don't try to fix the past. Because several times when I've tried to fix the past, finished books that I started reading that I didn't finish, putting videos into a playlist that I previously watched, even though I deleted the history of those videos. Those kind of things where you're fixing the past. Let it go and be in the now. That's the short answer. Because again, that peace, that happiness, that joy is not going to come from trying to fix the past. No, it's not. Especially if it's compulsive and it's overwhelmingly so much work that you have to do, it's probably best to not do it. It's probably best to just, listen to the inner voice that tells you this is not a good idea. Don't worry about it. Let go. Consider that an angel. And when you're doing something compulsively, going through the motions of it, determined to get something done with full on intensity. If there is an inner voice that is telling you to stop, do something else, don't worry about it, slow down, take a break, let it go, whatever it is, listen to it, trust it, and follow it. I mean, that's really the moral of the story here. So I know that this was a long live stream, and it was a rant. I have a lot to say. This is sort of a huge part of the transit of the North Node through Taurus. And the upcoming lunar nodes are going to shift into Aries and Libra. And it is about not falling into people pleasing or being passive aggressive. But whatever's going on externally, however people are treating you and making you out to be in that situation, be true to yourself. Stay true to yourself. Keep fighting. Fighting, Aries, as a fighter, to fight for what you want. And I'm going to stay true to myself. And I'm not going to allow the outer world to sway my personal beliefs. When I do things that are not true for myself, it always comes back to being true to myself. It's so important not to devalue yourself. It's so important to do what you value and not fall into being passive aggressive or doing something for the good of other people when you are devaluing yourself and it's not authentic to you. That's so important. Because Aries is an energy. I'm an Aries sun that is very much about being real. And so, yeah. So, I'm interested to see what the North Node and Aries transit has in store for me and what my experiences are going to be with that. But anyway, I'm going to stop this live stream. Bye for now. I just wanted to come on here and voice these things that have been in my mind for a long time. And be honest about them. Share them with you.